Alright boys, on FROGMAN YouTube channel, you already know what we're up to. This is volume 30 of Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo, also known as the creator of Soul Eater. This is volume 30 inside of omnibus number 10. Fire Force, as I've been explaining, will have 12 omnibus volumes. The last two are 2-in-1 volumes. So number 11 is 30, what's on it? 31 and 32. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Fire Force is going to have a total of 12 omnibus, and we've been going over this. The 11th one is just released. The last one is not out. The last one is going to contain 33 and 34. I don't want to wait for them, so as soon as we finish this review, we're going into them anyway. But I do not want to show those covers. Now, let's be honest guys, volume 30 of Fire Force is one of the best volumes of this entire series, and it's probably my top 3. I think 30 has been outstanding so far. I enjoyed 30 more than the previous one, 29, because it involves a character that I actually really enjoy, and he does a lot of cool stuff in this one. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is a cool, guys, as always, Okubo, he hasn't been doing it in the recent ones, but this one, he opens up the volume with a large double spread of the setting landscape for the volume, and it'll continue to change as we go. But this one focuses on the cool parallels between what Vulcan and Arthur are doing in the video game and what Kareem and Huoyan are doing with the fight against Rekka. Here's a very sick Kareem moment. The realization here that the hole in Rekka's chest comes from your imagination. It's your feelings of guilt. It's the hole in your heart, Kareem. If you don't feel that hole in yourself, you'll never be able to move on. That is Captain Huoyan down here speaking, sorry. That is Captain Huoyan. Huoyan is pretty cool. This panel right here reminds me of Bleach, obviously the hollow holes. Stay tuned for Bleach coming soon on FROGMAN YouTube channel. Here's our first one. Here's our first double noti in a while, mainly because the cliffhanger got me, which we got to do it. Gotcha, bitch. And originally, I put a note on here for the bottom left panel. This is a sick manga panel. Here's a sick shonen manga panel of these two characters facing off. Rekka right here in the foreground, and in the background back here is Kareem. One of them is fire, one of them is ice. That is classic shonen. It's super sick, and it got me. The cliffhanger got me. That note is being super pesky, guys. I don't think it wants to be a double noti. Too bad. It is forever a double noti. Fire and ice, super nice. Everything spicy, tastes just right. Speaking of spicy, Fire Force really has kicked up the notch. The second half of this volume has a ton of notes, guys. Here's our next blue moment. Blue is for the actual moment itself, or cool page turns, things like that. Different manga moments. This one is actually a pretty sick way to go out. He is still giving hope and some kind of solace to Kareem's heart. Rekka says, "This is how it's always been. The hotter I get, the more you cooled me down." And here he goes. He screams. He actually powers up so much that the ice he is encased in shatters, and it shatters him with it. That was super sick. I don't care much for Rekka, but that was pretty cool. Here's a moment for Vulcan I didn't think that I would ever really have, but I do like him a lot more now. He's not so bad, bro, is what my note says. And this is Vulcan breaking down in front of Arthur. This is quite literally at the end of the world, and that's what it takes to break this man down. He's crying about trying to protect the people he loves, like you and Lisa, and Arthur is there to comfort him. This has also reignited Arthur's flame. He's fighting for someone other than himself and his own goals, and I think that makes Arthur stronger. We will soon to see. Now, the arrow on this orange note here points to Arthur here, but it's really pointing to this panel here, this kind of 3D, this kind of pixel art panel here of the game that Arthur and Vulcan are playing. I think that's a really sick panel. And it also is really cool to have Arthur above it very confidently. Arthur is one of the GOATs. He's one of my favorite characters. I think that he is probably one of the coolest characters. Now here's a manga moment that I actually want to go over just for a second. My note Feels new for Okubo to introduce a character like this. Okubo tends to do different ways to introduce their characters. He shows them off in different ways. A lot of times he'll have them within the actual panels, and he may have a box down here saying who it is, or maybe the dialogue says who that character is. This is more of a, I would call this a One Piece introduction. One Piece does this a lot. The character is in full display down the middle, or maybe the side of the page, and there's still scenes going on in the background. You see there's a scene behind you right now. Well, this is really Giovanni, but you behind him right there. Just a cool way to introduce your character design in any kind of manga. Use the full page, but you can continue storytelling behind them. Very unique, very new for Okubo, and I hope he continues to do it in mangas going forward. Man. Here's an expected but cool double spread, not a double page spread, but it is a cool double spread of Arthur almost immediately just silencing and killing Giovanni. I saw this coming, that's why my note says it was expected. As soon as Arthur says, so that's where you're hiding, obviously finding the infestation of Giovanni inside of you immediately. Just goinks out a little laser blast here, real quick, pushes him out. Saw it coming, but it was super sick. The Night King, Arthur Boyle. This is a sick character intro for Dragon. This entire lead up was super sick of Dragon. He gets his own narration boxes with the fantasy scroll type sign. This is a sick intro. In a physical manifestation of Dragon's despair, a deep sea volcano bursts forth. Eruption. Ooh, when it comes up from behind him. That's super cool. That is so sick. And he's sitting there screaming. He's saying, "Where are you, child?" He's excited to fight Arthur again. And you see it on the cliffhanger, "I'm on my way." And Dragon says, "Waste no time." Gosh, man. These two characters, when the bout is finally over, I will be super happy, but I'll also be very hurt, because these guys have been going at it, and it made this volume legendary. Some of these attack panels where Arthur swings the sword down and it shoots almost like a Getsuga Tensho forward through Dragon, but obviously it doesn't hurt him that much. It scratches him, and it actually does deal some pain. He realizes that it's painful, but man. Here's a super fire page right here of Dragon. He's continue, I demand more fire moment for him to encourage Arthur, telling him to keep going. And then he's actually feeling pain this time. He sends Arthur flying up through the clouds past the freaking moon. And he follows up, he jumps through the clouds, he has his wings activated. Man, this is Violet Flash, Reverse Plunge. This is the cliffhanger of this week's chapter. Deserves an orange, but it's still a sick cliffhanger. I said on my note, I think that the panel here is very fun, very cool panel. And it's a full page, but I didn't want to give it double notey on this one. I didn't want to do another one of those. I didn't want to do that back to back, because I believe there's another one coming up. So I gave it cliffhanger. The actual cliffhanger of the chapter was very sick. The way Arthur slams this attack down on Dragon, and he actually says, "I felt that." Holy shit, dude. Sick little cover. Here's another cool cover for this volume, is the actual Dragon chapter cover. Instead of a box, it's like a nightly ribbon, and I just traced over it. I thought it was cool. Dragon's flashback was actually pretty sick. You learn that he's been here a very, very long time. His despair, he's run out of cool and strong people to fight, and he's kind of ready for the end of the world. Despair is all he's grown to realize will carry him forward. Non-stop cool stuff. The flashback was cool. Dragon versus Arthur, guys, this was so sick. Their impact rends the heavens and shatters the earth. Oh my god. The violet flash streaks across the sky, and the great beast parries. Gosh, dude, they go underwater, and Dragon can freaking blast the ocean away from him. He controls everything, man. This cliffhanger got me right here. This was very hard to put down. I wanted to keep turning. Bam, again, gotcha, bitch, every time. We'll keep pushing forward. There's a lot of fights in this chapter, so a lot of these panels are just action panels, and I wanted to nominate a bunch of them. I really like this one of Arthur stabbing directly towards the camera point of view from this panel. Obviously, he's stabbing Dragon. I just think that's a cool one. A lot of cool stuff here. Here's a cool full page of Dragon getting attacked by Arthur's Octo Strike. It's an attack in which Arthur has already been hit, but the way that he moves his body, he curves around and he's able to still slash Dragon using the Octo Strike. Super cool. Awesome end of the chapter here. I did not give this one a note, but I think this one is very cool. Dragon standing there very seriously hurt. Probably the first time in these two characters' bouts. And then he transforms. Here's a cool transformation panel. You see all his clothes burst out and you see the scales slowly start to climb up him. Now he's gonna be covered in them. Dude, man. Arthur versus Dragon, legendary. Look at this freaking dude, man, legendary. I love this fight. I love this chapter so far. Here's a double page spread. Fuego, Dragon takes Arthur to space. Literally, what more can I say? It's the cliffhanger of the chapter. The artwork is a full double page spread. No other images, no borders. It's full double page. Holy shit, bro. And this is Dragon in his full kind of dragon form taking Arthur into space. And you can actually see the cataclysm happening. The earth has slowly, it's got fire all around it. It's burning. Man, double noti, by the way. Almost didn't realize double noti. You know how we do those. Arthur's parents were in this volume. They're rooting for him. They land on the moon. They're fighting on the moon. Arthur can't breathe. He's on the moon. Oh my gosh, he's in his last moments here. Boom, legendary moment. I got chills reading this, bro. I just got chills again. Arthur equips the star ring. Legendary moment here with Dragon slowly kind of disappointed walking away from Arthur on the moon, mind you. But Arthur's laid out. He equips the star ring and he's able to get back up. This is what the star ring was for. Thank you, Vulcan. Dragon, I can still fight. I will not let you despair. Let us decide the future of the planet. On the freaking moon as the earth is on fire. GOAT. Legendary Fire Force cliffhanger. Legendary volume of Fire Force. I think that volume 30, like I said, definitely in my top 3 for Fire Force. Give my guy a scratch for one of those. Go support the official release, guys. That's what we do here. We support the official release. I just bought these recently when volume 11 of the Omnibus series came out. I'm super excited to read these last 2 and the singles, but I will be taking my notes out of them and putting them into the Omnibus when that comes out. So stay tuned next time. We're going to get started into Omnibus number 11, more specifically volume 31 of Fire Force. Stay tuned. This is the FROGMAN YouTube channel. I'm out.